Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. This is Deb Lutz, aka Deluxe, and happy to be joining you today. First day back from vacation, and came in to find that the link wasn't there. So sorry for being a couple minutes late, but hopefully we'll have some folks joining us in the studio in a moment for our show, and I can take you through top picks for today, which is a nice little mini 5-game slate. And hey, all right, everyone, good to see you. Shauna, you're back. Happy to see you, Shauna. It's been a while. And Niles, thanks for jumping in, Niles. Good to see you. And Justin Jennings. Justin, all right. Good evening. I think we've got a nice little 5-game slate today. So for those of you who are joining, you're going to get a little sneak peek. We've got some real value on the slate tonight with a lot of injuries. It's been a crazy year for us for NBA with all these injuries. Really makes for some interesting lineups and interesting DFS scorecards. We're going to go quickly here along these 5 games because we do have to get to lock time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern. So we'll wrap this up in about 20 minutes or so we can post on time, and we'll have lineups across DK, FanDuel, and Yahoo, as always. All right, so kicking things off, we've got Utah at Detroit. It's a 228.5 with a 2.5-point spread, Utah favored. Most of the games tonight are all around the same, between 221.5 and 228.5, except for the night game, Memphis-Denver, which is a juicy 236. So definitely have some picks there. All right, so Utah and Detroit, nice little game. The two have faced each other this season already. And we have pretty much let's see, we've got Kelly Olynyk and Colin Sexton out for Utah. And the only player out at this point for Detroit is Livers. So most of Detroit's, you've got Cade Cunningham, of course, who's out for the season at this point, but everyone else is playing. So what I like in particular for this matchup is the center matchup. I think you're going to have some really nice lineups from Kessler and Duren on both sides of the ball. It's a battle of the rookies there. And I expect a lot of blocks and rebounds in this game, a lot of missed shots. So in addition to Kessler, who I really like because Olynyk is out tonight, I also like Clarkson on Utah. I think he's getting Jaden Ivey defense, not the best, and he's been scoring at a pretty high rate. I'm actually going to stay away from marketing tonight. I think he'll be good. But given his price tag, I see some better value on the slate, so I'm not going there. But on the Detroit side, I'm going to look at Ivy in a GPP. I think he's pretty low owned, and I think he is also due for a big game. He has not been playing that great, but they really need the offense from him. Outside of Bogdanovich, you don't have a lot of offense out there on the floor with the starting 5, and so I'm looking for Ivy to have a pretty big game against Clarkson, who again is not necessarily the best defender. And like I said, I'm a fan of Duren in this game. I like him a lot, and I'll probably take a look at Alec Burks too. Although, even though I think he'll be solid, a lot of guys who are in that 5K range, so lots to choose from there. And I'll give you a couple of my even higher picks as we go along. I'm going to take a peek now because it looks like we've got some other folks joining. Pain Blank SM, hey, how's it going? And we got Absolute Power. Absolute Power's in the house. You know it's going to be a good night. Travis Wyndham, hello, good to see you. Hey, not too much that you missed yet. Take a listen, just a couple of picks on the Utah-Detroit game, but we're going to get into the meat of it right now. So, and Boy from Cali, I'm excited to see you. Thanks for posting those ownership numbers. They were kind of interesting tonight. So I'll go through some of my picks based on ownership as well. And all is good. I'm back from Mexico. I was there for 5 days, so feel rested. Couldn't play DS for a while. I was kind of going through a little bit of withdrawal, but I'm happy to be back, and maybe I'll play a little extra tonight given that. All right, so turning things on to game number 2, we have Chicago at Miami. It's a 221.5. That is one of the lower spreads of the evening. Miami's favored by 3, but I think that spread came out before it was announced that Butler was out. We've got a lot of guys out. On the Chicago side, it's just Lonzo Ball continues to be out, and you do have Javonte Green listed as a game time decision. I'm actually expecting him to not play. And on the Miami side, you've got Butler, Lowry, Martin, Vincent, and Yurtseven all out tonight. So once again with Miami, a lot of value. It seems to be the way it's been going this year. So I will share with you who I like in particular on the Miami side. The obvious ones and highly owned. I'm going to look at some of the ownership that was provided. The obvious ones are Hero. I mean, he's really going to be. You do about a buyer playing, but without Butler, without Lowry, Hero has a ton of usage. So he's going to be highly owned, I'm sure. And if I take a look at it on FanDuel, he is at 17%, and he is. Is he on DK? I think actually he's pretty expensive on DK. So he's only 5% on DraftKings. I like that pick a lot. He is higher priced, but like I said, I think he's just going to get a lion's share of the usage. You do have Max Strus coming back, so he'll be taking some shots against the Chicago defense, but he has not been. He hasn't been that great yet since he's been back. Oladipo is expected to start, although they have not announced their official lineup yet. But I do expect that Oladipo is going to start, as not only Lowry is out, but you've got Vincent out as well. And look for Oladipo to get some more assists and steals than he usually does. So I like Oladipo tonight as well. And then it's a toss-up for me on Highsmith versus Robinson. Highsmith, if he gets the start, both are practically min-priced. Robinson, you really couldn't count on him all year, except for the last 3 games. He's getting a little bit more time. He's played well against Chicago in the past, and I might, as a sneaky GPP play, try and get Robinson in there instead of Highsmith, who, again, from an ownership standpoint, is going to be much more highly owned. On the Chicago side of things, a little less interested in some of these players and their pricing. I will say it's a tough night on FanDuel for power forwards. Not a lot of options. Pat Williams is someone that you could take a look at for value, although he's not likely one to smash value. He may just sort of get you your 5x plus 5, and that's about it. I'm not going to go after Levine tonight. Too many other good options in that price range. But I do like Alex Caruso. He's only 3,700 on DK, which is a real bargain, I think, for starter minutes. So, and particularly, again, not against really the starting 5 of Miami, and you're playing, a couple of fill-ins there. So I think some interesting options. I don't want to get too carried away, though, because this is really the lowest or second lowest over-under on the slate. But I will probably get about 3 guys from this game. Moving on to the Golden State Warriors, New York Knicks, 7:30 p.m. Eastern start. Out for Golden State, as we know, Steph Curry. Boy, does that really mess up their chances. Although Jordan Poole's been playing great in his place, but the team just isn't the same without Curry. But interesting, Dante DiVincenzo is also out, and he filled in really nicely with Curry out. So they're going to be looking to a couple of other options off the bench. You also have Wiggins out, which is a big, which hurts them a lot, as well as JaMychal Green and Andre Iguodala. So on this end of things, we do have the starting lineup. It's announced that Poole, Klay Thompson, Moses Moody, Green, and Looney are in the starting lineup. So interesting, they're choosing to start Moody and not Kuminga, which I think is going to help Moody, actually. He has not been playing particularly well. This might be an opportunity for him. He's not going to have the pressure with Poole and Thompson in their scoring. So on the other hand, because Poole and Thompson are going to get all the usage, he may not get that much usage. But I actually do like him here, particularly I think it's on DK where he is really inexpensive. And you're going to get guys getting a lot of minutes, and so many guys are out. So I do like a few of the Golden State Warriors players. I like Thompson better than Poole, as Poole's going to get Jalen Brunson defense. I do like Moody, and I think you could also take a shot at Ty Jerome, who's going to play backup point guard. I think he's going to get a lot of play and be fairly low owned. And then even Draymond Green. Now, I don't like him above 6K. I only like him below 6K. But from the New York side of things, also a few players that I like. Only Obi Toppin is out, so you have your pretty full strength Knicks there. And I'm a big fan of Brunson. He's incredibly cheap on DK tonight. I also like Grimes, who's been playing great. I don't know if you guys play So Rare. I've got So Rare, and Grimes has been one of my best picks there. I think RJ Barrett will have a good game, but I don't like his pricing. Not a Barrett fan, so I'm probably not going there. Wouldn't blame you for going with Julius Randle, but at his plus 9K pricing, it's a little bit pricey for me. So Brunson and Grimes are my two favorite options. I also like Quickly coming off the bench. I think he's going to be a little spark plug in this game. I think the 221 is a little bit low. I think there's going to be a little more offense than that. So I'm probably going to go with at least three guys from this game as well. Okay, let's check in. We've got Porzingis out. Okay, so that will matter in this next game. And yes, appreciate the thumbs up. That would be awesome if you go onto YouTube. Let's get the thumbs up going. Maybe we should do a little competition, me versus Crash, who can get more thumbs up. Come on, double it up for me. And then we got King of All Trades entering the house along with Stacks Money 77. All right, Mr. 77. Let's see. So going over to the fourth game here, Washington at Phoenix. My Phoenix Suns, boy, they've been falling apart lately. On the Washington side, as we just mentioned, Porzingis is out, as is Rui Hachimura and DeLon Wright. On the Phoenix side, man, the list keeps expanding. We've got Booker, Crowder, Johnson, Landale, Okeke, and Payne all out tonight. So again, expect some big minutes, particularly from the likes of Torrey Craig, Mikal Bridges, and I would expect that we're going to have probably Damian Lee starting. He's been the better option versus Landry Shamet. But I think it's there is the potential for a bit of a blowout, particularly with Porzingis out. So that's the only thing to watch out for there. But a 224 over under and a spread of 7. So on the Washington side, who do I like? Well, Porzingis is out. I think that gives. I think Kuzma could benefit from that. Beal will certainly put up a ton of shots. Damian Lee's pretty decent defender. I actually think Mikal Bridges will likely defend Bradley Beal, in which case I think he's more of a lockdown defender, and I don't think Beal's going to have a breakout game. It's only his second game back from being injured. I like Kuzma better. Also intrigued by Gafford. With Porzingis out, Gafford's going to get more minutes than he usually does, and he's a pretty good points per minute guy. So somebody to keep an eye on. Take a look and see if you can fit him in. It's an interesting night for centers though, because there are a number of centers I like, including the guy on the other side. So DeAndre Ayton, I think, is going to smash against Gafford, and he's got Chris Paul back there throwing him the alley-oops. So I'm looking for a big night out of Ayton, but he has gotten pricier, to be honest. As much as I like him tonight, I may not be playing him because I think the center position is the opportunity to get some lower price guys. And so he's probably not going to be in my lineup. He's also highly owned. So again, if we look at ownership, In DK, he is the #1 owned player at 31.1%. So another reason why I'm probably not going to be going to him. He's about 6th on FanDuel again at 30%. So that ownership combined with the high price, I'm really going to be looking elsewhere. But I do expect him to have a good night. Chris Paul, I think will have a good night as well. He's somebody that I'm definitely looking at. Without Booker in there, he's definitely going to be handling the ball primarily. So I definitely am interested in some Chris Paul. I also like Damian Lee. He's inexpensive, and if he starts, if he doesn't start, I'm less interested. But as a starter, I love him. Also look for him to get over 3 threes if you're playing any prop bets. And Torrey Craig's getting a lot of love. He's only 5K on DK, and he's been playing some good ball, and he's going to be playing, as I said, a lot of minutes. The other flyer, if you want to go for it on DK, because you can have 2 centers, is if you want to take a look at Biyombo. Landale is out, and with Landale out, Biyombo is the guy who gets the 20 minutes. It's likely that Ayton is not going to play a full 36, 37 minutes. They're going to rest him a bit. I think you're going to get a decent amount of Biyombo. And at his salary and his ownership on DK, he is, I think he's towards the bottom. Let's see, where's Biyombo? Actually, I don't even see him. He may not have even made the list. He's going to be pretty low owned, and so might be a sneaky little play to get another superstar in there. All right, so let's see where we're at. We've got our last game of the night. We've got to wait until 10 p.m., and it's Memphis at Denver, and it is. This is going to be an interesting game. It's a 236 spread, so it is 7.5 points higher than our next game. 236 over under, and Denver by just 1. So if that plays out, this is going to be a hard fought game with all the starters getting big minutes. Now, that being said, you have a couple of things going on. On the Memphis side of things, you do continue to have Desmond Bane out, and they're also listing Danny Green is out. I don't think I even knew Danny Green was on Memphis. You've got Conchar, who's going to be probably starting for Memphis, but Memphis has a super deep bench, so I'm not concerned at all. And they've got Morant fully rested because he got kicked out of the last game after only playing like 16 minutes, so he's going to be raring to go. And on the Denver side, you do have guys banged up a little bit. So you've got Michael Porter Jr. continue to be out. You've got Jamal Murray, a game time decision. There's a really good chance that he rests, which is a big watch out for Bones Highland. But also KCP is a game time decision, and Jeff Green. So even Jokic, actually, although he's projected to be in, he is also dealing with some injuries and a game time decision. So I think it's really going to matter whether or not Murray plays. I like Murray a lot if he plays. If he doesn't, I like Highland. If Caldwell Pope is out, that means bigger minutes and more usage for Bruce Brown. And I'm assuming Jokic's going to play. I think if Jokic doesn't play, this becomes a blowout. But with Jokic in, I think they can hang in there. I do expect Memphis to win this game. I do expect it to be high scoring. I like Ja a lot in this game, regardless of who's in at point guard. I also, another sneaky play, Jaren Jackson. He's pretty low ownership. I like him tonight. I'm curious from the group if there's anyone who likes Triple J tonight. He hasn't been playing that great, but I'm expecting a big game from him tonight. So I may be getting him in. You'll see him in a couple of the lineups I provide to you guys, especially the GPP. I do think Steven Adams provides pretty decent defense against Jokic, so I'm not going to be going to Jokic tonight. He's been a very popular pick. I think he's a little lower owned today, but he's coming off of that smash game. But I just don't trust he's going to hit it tonight against Adams. That's about it, guys. Rounding things out, I'm looking to see if anyone has any questions or comments. Anybody that you guys absolutely love tonight? Anyone you definitely are avoiding? I will say, for me, some of the avoids. I'm avoiding Zach LaVine. I am avoiding. Who else am I avoiding? Kind of bigger names. Bradley Beal said I was going to avoid, and Jokic. So that's it, guys. If there's nothing else, it was a real quick go at it. And join me in a few minutes as I'll be posting, and hopefully we've got some winning lineups tonight. Don't forget, when you get a winning lineup, don't forget to share it, and we're going to be posting everything on Twitter, getting people all excited about what we're able to do together as a Coach Talk family. And I appreciate you guys joining me today. And tomorrow, I think you'll have Crash again as he puts together another great NBA slate, and as we look to crush it with DFS Coach Talk. Thanks, guys.